I only use my tongue for splits, so that I learnt very early on to use the tongue to play octaves. But I didn't tongue block single notes. So, but I always played these intervals, and I learnt to play not only two-channel blocks, two-hole blocks like this, but also single-hole blocks. Yeah, and then I did an experiment in the Hohner Acoustics Lab. This is about 1997, I think, because all of the tongue block players that I knew were saying, well, it sounds better, that's why we do it. And I thought, I'd like to know why. And so Hohner had an acoustics lab in the factory, and they had a frequency analyzer, right, where you can see the different overtone fractions, because every musical note consists of a fundamental, and then the first overtone fraction, which is 1 octave higher, the second overtone fraction, which is the fifth above the octave, the third overtone fraction, which is the second octave, the fourth overtone fraction, which is the third above the second octave, and it goes up like that forever. And so I was playing a single note and I just learned basically to tongue block single notes, and I analyzed the frequency spectrum, and I discovered that if you play, or if I play with a pucker, then I had a weaker fundamental but stronger overtone fractions, especially the first three overtone fractions. They were much stronger than with a tongue block. And when I played the same note with a tongue block, the fundamental was stronger and the overtone fractions were weaker. So what this meant is that was the reason why the tongue blockers say that their sound is fatter and darker, because it is. Because the overtone fractions are what makes the tone bright. Yeah? And if you reduce the overtone fractions and strengthen the fundamental, then you will get a bigger sound. And I measured this, and I thought, oh, well, that explains it then, so I'd better learn. And I started making a lot more effort to learn how to tongue block single notes. And I think one of the best ways of learning to do that is to learn to play rhythmic patterns with a tongue block on the first three holes of the diatonic, like this. Because this is a real great way to put rhythm into your playing. And it helps you to learn to isolate the single notes and mix them up with chords, which is a great sound. So that was where I kind of started, and is still the base. It's still, for me, it's just a great exercise, you know, to play stuff like that. And it's very good for, of course, your breathing and rhythm generally. So I started doing that, and the biggest difficulty that I encountered was learning to bend notes.